Okay. We're live now. Okay. I believe we're live now, but yes, we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Tofumi, and I am the growth market manager here at Lottielab. I have my colleagues here with me. This is actually our first live event. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I'll have my colleagues introduce themselves in a minute, but before I do that, if you haven't upvoted us on Product Hunt, now would be a good time to do so. We really want to make it to top three, and we can do that with your help. We appreciate your support. It means the world to us. So if you haven't, I dropped a link in the chat box earlier. Please go and upvote us. We are so close to top three, and with your help, we can do it. I'll now have my colleagues introduce themselves, and it'll be in the order of Drew, Daryl, and David. Hi, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm super excited to have all of you here today. Again, this is our first event that we're having to actually showcase a feature, so you can imagine how excited the whole team is to see you. If you have any questions, feel free to keep dropping in the chat. By way of introduction, my name is Drew. I'm one of the co-founders here at Lottielab. I'm actually a designer as well, so I get involved in a lot of the designs that you see out there, alongside Daryl, of course, who's going to be introducing himself later on. Again, really excited to kind of talk you through what we've been building here at Lottielab, how interactivity is going to supercharge your workflow, and what the future of Lottielab actually looks like. So be excited, keep your popcorns by your side, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed as well. But next, I'll pass on to Daryl to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, it's Daryl here. I think you might have seen me on Twitter or somewhere, but I'm a designer here in Lottielab, and I love adding colors to shapes and making them move. And that's gonna be my short introduction. Now I'm gonna pass it on to David.
Hello, everybody. My name is David. I've been here at Lottie Lab for a year and a half. I write code. I'm an engineer here, and for interactivity, especially, it's a very dear feature to me. One could even say a pet feature of mine. So I'm really excited to show you all what's possible with it. It's not just something for designers. There is stuff for developers as well there. So it would be really exciting to show you all of this.
Thank you so much. So we like this to go as quickly as possible, while showing you all the very nice bits as well. Don't forget that we'll be giving out pro subscriptions to three lucky users. So just watch out for how we're going to select who we're giving pro subscription to. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat on the second screen right here, which is why you see my face. Just moving to the left. And then Daryl, David, and Andrew will be very happy to answer your questions. We'll also be giving you some sneak peeks into our upcoming features and taking some feature requests as well, because we really want to speak to our community. We want to talk to you guys and and just ask you guys what you like to see on Lottie Lab. Without further ado, I'll be moving on to Drew. So just give us some context around the products and why we built the products, or we hope to help with the products, and what you can expect to see with future iterations of the products. Drew.
Thank you so much, though, for me for that introduction. Again, really excited to have all of you here. I hope you're all stoked to see what we actually have to present to you. It's our first event, so like we will be actually looking forward to every feedback that you have after the event is done as well, so that we can actually take from that, learn from that, and then apply it to future events. We hope to see some of you come back again for some future events, because we do have more exciting features coming up, and we'll be doing more of this, of course. And the reason this is our first event is because actually Tofumi just joined us. She's actually a new growth marketer, so you're seeing the effects of that firsthand, and expect more. Like, put pressure on her, please. So I'm gonna go into like what we've been building. how interactivity is going to help all of you, and I'll try to keep it as short and brief as possible. Like I said, my name is Drew. My background is actually as a designer. I absolutely love every stage and every phase of the design process. I've been designing since I was a kid, like around 11 or 12 years old. Everything from websites to apps to physical products. I was a proper like Apple fanboy. I grew up on I drank the Kool-Aid very early. So I kind of came across the idea of animation pretty early in my life as well. But I never really went deep into it. So I've kind of like stayed more on the static design side. Like a lot of designers, like animation at the beginning can be quite like overwhelming. So it took me some time to actually get around to loving it enough to spend some more time on it. Then I actually started loving the detail of animation. And that's actually one of the things that led to like the founding of Lottielab. I met my co-founder about 2 to 3 years ago, and we are discussing how we could actually help the internet or the web essentially become a more fun place, because we're both like we both have backgrounds where we've been building interfaces from a young age. He's been building games, so I've been building like apps. So we sort of got along like really well, and then we looked at how we can democratize motion design for product teams, so other people can also create more animated experiences easily. And as part of that mission, we launched our beta like last year. Some of you might have seen the public beta announcement on Product Hunt. We went on to become Product of the Day, or Product of the Week, and we actually became one of the design tools of the year. So it was a very exciting year for us to launch. And we launched that beta with one mission: to build the easiest and most powerful Lottie animation editor out there. And we can say quite confidently today that Lottielab is the best in class editor when it comes to creating and shipping Lottie animations to your websites and applications. And we do that in a lot of like really simple ways, features that we've added over the course of the past months and years by listening intently to every single one of you in our community about what you want. These features range from allowing you to integrate your Figma designs really easily into Lottielab with one click. We have a one-click philosophy here. We try to do as many things as we can within a click, and with one click you can get your Figma designs using the Figma plugin from the Figma into Lottielab, and it will retain all your data. So your layer organization, your nice gradients, you don't have to worry about all that. We'll keep it, and your paths as well. And then you'll be able to seamlessly animate them and access all the animation properties. And this has delighted our users for some time now. This ability to create animations easily by using existing designs they have in Figma, or even creating it from scratch inside Lottielab using our pen tool or the shapes that we have. And more recently, the addition of the text feature as well, which allows you to then create more text animations. This has delighted our users, and we've seen customers, tens of thousands of designers and developers from leading organizations like OpenAI, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, implement animations in their websites and their apps using Lottielab. But we thought, how can we take this even further? Like it was one thing to build a really easy and intuitive animation tool that makes the process of creating animation easier for our users, but there are still challenges within the larger Lottie workflow that we thought we could start solving. We embarked on one of these challenges, which was how could we help reduce the file sizes of Lottie animations, and that's when we initially released our live link feature, our live link CDN, which allows you to, in one click, again, copy a URL to your Lottie from Lottielab into any platform, whether that's Framer, Webflow, any code platform, and have your animation showing instantly, which is a massive contrast to the way this used to be, where you'd have your After Effects projects, export the Lottie file through a plugin. It might work, it might not work. Fingers crossed, touch wood. You send it to your developer, they come back with a bunch of like feedback. You have to go back into After Effects, pin up the whole tool, and it's just really cumbersome. But with Lottielab, you create your animation in a very intuitive design editor, copy your link, paste that link into your code, and it works, and you can just keep changing your animations on the fly. But we thought, let's take this even further. And that's when we started having thoughts around interactivity. We were listening to the community. We heard a lot of designers wanted to take charge of the entire user experience and not just creating the assets, but creating how users interact with the asset. And beforehand, designers felt limited because they would have to communicate this to developers. There can be things that are lost in translation. There can be back and forths. Developers can get frustrated, like reduce the file size of the animation. Where should I put the interactivity? What frame should it be on? And there can just be a lot of back and forth. We can make creating animations as delightful as it is, and as much as we want them on our websites and apps, it can make it very difficult and actually make a lot of people also give up on the process. So when we started embarking on this this mission of really making designers have the power to create animations themselves and add it to websites and apps. One thing that came to mind was we absolutely have to make it easy and simple and really intuitive. A lot of our users are coming from Figma, so the interface is something that's already familiar with them. So if you can use Figma and create prototypes in Figma, like chances are you have a breeze creating interactive animations in Lottielab, because a lot of the concepts are like super similar. You're mostly creating animation states. So if you have like a prototype in Figma, you have different states of your prototype, and then just creating interactions between them. And we give you a bunch of ready-made events, like pre-made events out of the box, so you don't have to worry about defining those events yourself. We give you the triggers. So you just click a layer, add an event to that layer as you would in Figma. So you can do the same in Lottielab, and then just connect it to another state, and then you have an interactive animation within seconds or minutes at most. And that's like pretty much like the vision behind interactivity, is to just make it really easy for designers to create interactive animations and hand it off. And then the final part of like interactivity, or generally creating animations that's difficult for product teams, is that collaboration between designers and developers. And we really focused on this with interactivity in Lottielab. So with interactivity in Lottielab, you're going to get a brand new preview playground page, which some of you that joined Lottielab early, you might not have even seen this page before. It's similar to the Figma prototype page. And what you can do with this preview page is when you're testing your like interact your animations, and those animations don't even have to be interactive, you can get a full page view, a separate page view similar to a prototype view, where you can see the animation in full view, interact with it. We call it playground because you can then play with it, test the interactions, and then share the actual playground with your developer or the rest of your team. And they can go on that playground and actually export the animation, the interactive animation, and have it working in code without having to write any interactivity code themselves. Or if you have custom events on them, you can then actually wire those custom events that your developer can get those animations, see what those states look like and what the events are, and then wire those custom events in code to the user events that they need to be on. And interactivity right now works across all our web platforms. So if you wanted to grab a HTML embed and put that into Webflow, Framer, even Notion, you can actually just have it working across everything using our live link feature as well. But I'm sure you've heard enough of me talking and waffling through how it works. I'm a very visual person myself. I prefer to be shown and not told, which is why we have people that are actually working on it on a day-to-day basis. Dara and David actually on the call today, and they will walk you through one, how to create your first interactive animations, and also how to then take it beyond just the creation process and actually how to implement it in a custom way in code. If you have any questions along the way, of course, feel free to ask at any point in time.
Thank you so much, Drew, and thank you everyone for sticking with us. We'll move very quickly to Dial. It would be showing us a live demo of interactivity from a designer point of view. We also have David who will be showing us how to integrate your interactive lotties into Webflow, Framer, or pretty much just any sort of CMS or SMS2 that you use. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and Daryl and David, Drew as well, will be happy to answer. If you have friends, colleagues, fellow designers, and developers, please share this live demo with them. We'd love to have as many people as possible. The more the merrier. And I'm just going to say upvote us. Every time I speak, I'm going to remind you to upvote if you haven't. So there, Daryl, take it away.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. So, hey everyone, it's Daryl here again, and how do I start this? Well, I'm gonna start with like I'm a designer here in Lottielab, and I've always loved doing like animations and micro interactions. And one specific micro interaction that started all this Lottie journey for me was the Twitter like interaction. And I learned that it was a Lottie, and thereon I just had to figure out on how to do it myself. But back in the day, I mean, I sounded too old, but back then it was a real mess. Like the process itself, at least for me, was a mess. It was such a struggle. That's purely because I didn't have Adobe Illustrator back then, so I had to use After Effects. No, I had to use Inkscape. But to make Lotties, you gotta use After Effects, which means that my Inkscape from SV no no my, the SVGs from my Inkscape didn't really work out well with After Effects since After Effects didn't support anything related to SVG. And then that's one issue. Another issue is that I have to make it interactive, which is a whole nother like topic because it involves code and everything. Just to say the least, it's really complicated. But fast forward today, right now we're gonna be demoing on how you can do lotteries in much simpler ways. So for my time, I'm gonna be showing you on how you could turn your Figma designs into interactive assets, and you could basically embed this one to any platform. And actually, let me just share my screen right now. Boop, boop, boop. Screen. I'm gonna share the entire screen, and I'm gonna pick this screen right here. All right. That being said, let's get started onto Figma. And specifically for this example, I'm gonna be using Material 3 Design Kit, and I'm gonna be picking a random icon in here. So might eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, let's just go with this first example right here. Let's pick this asset. And what we're gonna do now that we've picked our asset is that we're just gonna run our Figma to Lottielab plugin so that we could take our design into Lottielab. Let's do that one right now. Let's open this one, an army tab. Loading, loading. And lovely, now that we got in, let's just quickly adjust our document size, just so that we have some space to work on. So let's center that one quickly. And now that we have our asset, what do we do? What animation do we do with this one, or what like interaction do we do with it? Well, we could go with something like a menu icon turning into like a close icon. And then there on, the interactivity that we can do with it is that we could switch between menu icon onto a close icon. Yeah, let's go with that one. So for that one, let's turn on animate mode and let's just adjust the time here. For this one, let's try to select all the paths and center them. There you go. All right, lovely. And then here, I'm gonna be turning it into a close icon. So for this one, you know what? I think I know the specific number for this. It's gonna be 315. And the other two paths, I'm gonna turn it to, I don't know, 315 minus 45 maybe? How does that look? That's not right. Let me just rotate that one quickly. Oh, there you go. That's looking a lot better. So it does that, and you know what's missing? It's missing a bit of an easing in here. So for this one, we could go for something like it accelerates at the beginning, and then slows at the very end, just so that it pops a little bit. Let's preview that one. Lovely, I like that. So let me just extend the time here. Oops, 42 seconds, that's a little bit too long. Let me just duplicate this last keyframe over here, duplicate this other one, and basically what we're doing here is we're just trying to flip the animation. And I'm gonna apply the easing again. So in here, let's do a slow, and then let's make it really, no, not slow, let's turn it to accelerate. It goes fast at the beginning, and then slows down at the very end. Let's slow it down. There we go. Let's preview that one quickly. This. Okay, I think we're pretty much done with the animation. Right now, let's get into the fun deal. Let's try to make it interactive. So to make this interactive, let's try to add, how many states do we need to add for this one? I think we need to add like 3 states for it. One called the initial state, the other one called menu to close, and then the last one called close menu. And then now that we're on here to interactivity, there are 3 things that you got to keep in mind when looking at this UI. On the left side, you can see the states panel. And on this side, this is where you basically add your states. At the bottom is where you define your states, where you define the duration of your states. Like for this one example, our menu to close runs about 0 seconds to 1.4 seconds. So for that one, we just need to drag this one out to 1.4 seconds, or define it in here to 1.4 seconds. And let's play that one out quickly. Okay, that's our second state. Our third state is going to be this one here. It starts at 2.4 seconds and then ends at the very last second. So that's going to be our close menu. So now that we've defined our states, the other UI that we got to keep in mind or got to look out for is this right panel over here. This is where you basically control everything. So for the initial state, let's try to pick that specific element and let's add an interaction with it. Let's try to add an on click. And on click, we want to do a natural ease. Now for this one, we want to do initial state, and then turns to the menu to close. And then for this, let's do 150. And let's preview that one quickly. Let's see that one here. And this part right here basically is a playground. So for this one, we've set like an initial state. We've set the interaction for the menu to set to menu to close. So it goes to menu to close. There you go. Lovely. So for now, we're going to move on to the second state over here. Now that we're on to menu to close, whenever we click on this one, what we want to do is we want it to transition to the third state, which is close to menu. And for that one, we're just going to switch it to 150. And let's preview that one again. Let's see. Boom, bada, boom. So now you can see here on the right side that it's basically showing you which state is playing at this moment in time. So for this one, there you go. If we go back to, there you go. If we click that one again, it goes to that. Lovely. And now for the last part is we just need to link it to which state? To menu to close, just so that we get a perfect loop for this one. So for that, and I think that's pretty much it for interaction. Let's try to preview that one. Doot, 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 doot. There you go, menu to close. Lovely. And there you go. That's how simple it is to do interactions in Lottielab. Let me just play that one more time. Ah, I love the easing. Okay. So onto this part. Now that we're done with the design, now we're done with the animation, we're basically off to just hand this off to our developer. And actually, let's try to optimize it right now. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, you know what? It might be good to maybe showcase on how we could embed this one to Framer. Yeah. Oh, there we go. We've already optimized it. So it was about 4.5 kilobytes. Now it's reduced to 0.7 kilobytes. Basically nothing. This right here, this is like perfect for handoff. This is basically done. And now I'm just going to show you on how you could like embed this to Framer. And there's two ways actually on how we could do this one in Framer. We could use the embed link and use the embed element in Framer, or do a custom component in Framer using our CDN link. So for the first option, let's try to do that one quickly. Let's add on to Framer, and to add our lotties, our interactive lottie, we could basically use this embed option in here. Let's insert that and just add it in here. There you go. Simple as that. Let me just try to center that one quickly. Preview that one, see if it still works. Yep, works as expected. And that's one option on how you could do it in Framer. The other option is using a custom component that David just developed this morning. And to access that custom component, you basically just need to pick any assets that we have here in our examples page for interactive assets. And in here, you could basically copy the Framer component. Oh wait, let me just show this one. Look at that. Ah, damn. Okay, so back on track. Let's copy the Framer component. And then the other option is to basically just paste the other component, grab our CDN link. And what's the difference between this component and the other Framer component? Oh no, the embed element is that for this one, you could basically set states to which you could basically like turn this into a component and turn each states to be a variant. And I've already made something up quickly for this one in here. Like for this one, on our first variant for our component, we've set the state to the idle. This second variant right here, we've set it to the menu to close, and the third one, the close the menu. And I've just added like a quick little interaction in here that whenever I click on it, it goes to this variant of the component, and this one to the other. And a quick preview for that one is this one right here. There you go. Made this one up quickly 5 minutes ago, and not 5 minutes ago, like an hour ago. But yeah, and that's pretty much it on how you could turn your Figma designs to an interactive asset that you could then embed to Framer. And that's pretty much it for my talk.
Thank you so much, Daryl, for that very interesting live demo. I'm just gonna read some questions, even questions in the comments. Lee says, "Can we use it now?" Yes, lots interactivity is now live on Lottielab. So if you sign up or log into your Lottielab accounts, you can create interactive animations just like Daryl did. And then Sylvester says a demo integrating to either Webflow or Framer would be appreciated. So Daryl just integrated onto Framer and I believe Webflow. Um, Another question says, can UI elements control the states of Lottie in Framer? Dara, do you want to take that?
Yes, you can control it. Just from like the previous example, I didn't actually add the interaction to the Lottie itself. I added the interaction to the other elements of this said framer.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll get to them after David's presentation. I'll be going over to David now for his technical integration demo. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tiffany. Um, Hello again. I'm David again. Uh, what I wanted to show you this time is a bit more involved, but still not too difficult to work with. But I really wanted to show how an interactive animation like the one that Daryl made could be easily added to, for example, a React application, because I think this is a very common use case that you're likely to see when you're going with interactive animations made in Lottielab for the first time. If you're embedding into a web app written in Next.js, for example, this will come in handy. And this method will work for even other platforms, but I'm going to be showing React because I found that it's one of the more often requested platforms for our users. So I'm first going to quickly share my screen here. And here it is. So over here, I have this animation that Daryl made. And if we open it up, we can see that it has these interactions based on the menu element that he just added, etc., etc. Now we can add this animation directly into our React app without any additional configuration. But what I wanted to show you is a powerful method of connecting the state within React with the state of the animation itself. And for this, we want to avoid using the on-click listeners and instead opt for using something called custom events, which are an advanced feature that allows you to basically trigger events from a React or other type of component or code that the Lottie will respond to rather than it being directly a user-facing event. And what we will do here is we will create a custom event called open, which basically will be triggered when the menu opens. And we will, let's say we will keep these settings. So when that happens, we go to this menu to close interaction. And when the menu is open, the close button is displayed. This is a little bit confusing, but I think you'll get the hang of it. Also, I have to remove this one. Okay, so on the other hand, when we're in the menu to close state and we get this, we get the close event, we want to do the opposite. We want to return, we want to actually go to the close to menu state. And then from here, we again want to respond to an open event and go to the initial state. So our interactions are now set up basically the same way as Daryl did, with the only difference that they respond to custom events named open and close. And we can preview this in the same way that Daryl previewed the previous interaction. And you can see here that we recognize these as custom events. So when we click open, this will happen. then we click close, it will return back to the initial state. And that's about it for the part in Lottielab. Now we can also use a live link the same way that Daryl used the live link for his Framer implementation, but I wanted to show you how you can do this with a normal JSON file, just to show that there is no magic happening within LiveLink. Of course, LiveLink provides you a really convenient way to work with this, but basically the interactivity information is in the Lottie JSON itself. So I'm going to call this menu.json, and I'm going to place it. I already have a React app here set up, and I'm going to just save it here in the source directory to make it easier. Okay, so my React app at the moment works like this. It's nothing special. It has a checkbox, and we use this checkbox to control whether or not a menu is displayed. Obviously, the checkbox is just a placeholder, as you can see. It's not very pretty to look at, but the idea is that instead of this checkbox, we can put in our own new interactive animation. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to install the Lottie player by Lottielab. This is the player that actually allows us to display this interactive animation and interact with it in a way. And the NPM is, as always, taking a little bit more time than anybody expects, but I think this should be done soon. Yeah. So the player is here, and right away we can import the React component like this. And we can already use this component, we can already use this component to display a Lottie. But of course, to actually have something to display, we have to import the actual animation from the JSON, and this is something that Create React App takes care of. We can just import from a JSON file. And here we have this toggle component, which, as you can see, just shows a checkbox with the isOpen state and triggers an on-click event. It's really nothing special. So what we want to do is replace this checkbox with the toggle animation that Daryl just made and we just tweaked. So the way to do this is, let's first create a container just to make sure that everything is sized properly. And on this container, we will just pass this click event so that it responds. And here we'll pass the animation to the player, and this is mostly it. As you can see now, we have just this animation and nothing happens with the actual toggle when we try to do anything. The idea is that, of course, we haven't yet connected our custom events. The way to do this is to create a ref. Those of you who have used React probably are familiar with refs. And we'll just connect the ref to the Lottie like this. And the only thing that we really want to do now is when the isOpen state switches from true to false, we send the close event and vice versa. So we can use this using the useEffect callback, which depends on the isOpen state. And this is going to be a very simple if statement. If props.isOpen, then we will do lottie.current.interactivity trigger, and remember our event is called open. Otherwise, if props.isOpen is false, meaning that we're closed, we will just trigger the close event. And this is basically it. This toggle component should now pretty easily replace our checkbox that we had before. Let me just try it again. And as you can see here, when I click, we get this interaction happening here. I think that there is some issue with the timing, with the returning animation, and some issue with it happening again. But I will post this code afterwards in a completely done state, so that you can take a look at the example. We also have an example in the GitHub. And what's more important here is to actually show just a little bit of the technical details behind how this actually works. So as you saw, we just downloaded a normal Lottie.json from Lottielab and embedded it here, and we're able to trigger events, and the player kind of switched between states in our stead. And the way this works is not really too magic. I can show you the look of this interactivity menu.json file with interactivity enabled. And if you look at here, the actual JSON file inside has this Lottielab interactivity part, which defines all of the states, and each state defines a list of events that it responds to. It has a go to, it has a start, it has a duration, and so on and so on. And this is how our interactivity is actually implemented. Basically, every interactive Lottie has this Lottielab interactivity member in it, and within all of the states are defined, and all of the events are defined, and they and our player that I just installed, the Lottielab Lottie player, will read this and play the interactive animation according to this definition. So this means that if you're working on your own player, or using your own player, or using your own custom build pipeline, whatever, you can pretty simply just read this and work with the states yourself. The specification is open. It's in our GitHub, which I will also link together with this example. So I hope that that was not incredibly boring. I hope that I demonstrated a bit on how to get an animation working like this in a kind of real-world React application. That was it for my part, but if there is any question about the dev side of this, or how it works, or how it should work in React, do let me know. And yeah, I already see a question here. Yes, it's possible to add this to a WordPress site. In fact, if you go to Lottielab today and create an interactive Lottie, go to export, you can pick WordPress as one of the supported platforms, and you will get tailored instructions on how to embed your interactive Lottie in there.
We have a second question, David. And this person says, "Hi, Daryl. David, is it possible to add multiple states to an object? For example, different actions on hover and on click?"
Yes, absolutely. Yes, of course, you can add as many states as you like, and each state can respond to any of the many events that we have. And among the events that we have is clicks, hovers, mouse down, mouse up. We even have like some complex playback control type interactions where the playhead will follow the cursor, and a few other things like that. So to answer your question, yeah, you can add basically as many states as you need, and you can respond to any event as you want. And of course, you can add as many custom events like I just did in this example here with the open and close. For example, you can have if you have an onboarding animation, you could have a custom event called onboarding step 1 done, onboarding step 2 done, and so on and so on. And then the developer would trigger these states, and your Lottie would respond to them with a clean interface, let's say.
Okay. Drew, do I have you for the final question in the
Yep.
chat? This says, "So is this better than Rive?"
It depends on the context and the use case that you're trying to achieve, actually. Lottie and Lottielab and Rive are built for like sometimes overlapping use cases. But if you're looking to actually use your Figma design as a designer and then animate it and add it as an interactive animations to any of the numerous like web platforms out there, you'd find that you have a more seamless like workflow using Lottielab to do so as a designer. But obviously, if you have specific like Rive, specific context that you want to achieve, that you need to go maybe deeper into more technical rendering for like different platforms, then you would obviously like you may use Rive for those. But for most scenarios like that designers have and product teams have for products when it comes to websites and applications. Lottielab has been tailor built around design teams and designers and the workflow they use to be extremely simple and very easy, and also just as powerful. So you're not letting go of any of the power or small file sizes. So with Live Link, for example, we get down to very ridiculously tiny file sizes, so you wouldn't have to worry in terms of comparing your Lottie file size with your Riot file size. And at the same time, you're not also limited on the types of interactions that you can actually add in your everyday application or web scenario. So yeah, you'd be able to like use it freely. I think this could be a question for David. And yes, it is possible to use in WordPress as well. Yeah.
So I can take the next question. Actually, the question after this. So yes, it's possible to have a scroll interaction combined with this. However, the way that this can be done and the limitations of this really depend on what exactly you're trying to achieve. So we should keep in mind that Alati really does have only one playhead. So for example, if you're using the scroll to control the playhead in some way, we have to be mindful of what it means to change the state within that. So for example, if you have like a rotating red cube, in one state and the rotating blue cube in another state, maybe your scroll trigger could simply rotate the cube, but then you have to be extra careful that when you switch from the red to the blue state, you have transferred to the appropriate position with the new state. We do not currently expose scroll interactions as part of a Lottielab interactivity. This is because this is really difficult to do accurately. So that means that you would have to write a few lines of your custom code that would connect your scroll position, whatever you want it to be, to something we call custom variables in the final Lottie, which and that then you could set up that variable to control maybe the playhead or the blending with some other state and achieve your scroll interaction this way. I hope I answered the question. This is a bit going a bit into advanced use cases. We have a lot of docs on this, so it's a bit difficult to explain in a Q&A format. And for the other question, can I implement them in Play? I am honestly not sure what Play is. If you could provide some more details, I would be happy to answer.
Sorry, I just got feedback that I was on mute earlier. I was trying to respond to Linda's question about if this is possible to add on WordPress. And yes, the answer is yes, you can implement this on WordPress, Framer, Webflow, and most CMS tools. Do we have any more questions? Remember, we have 3 Pro subscriptions to give away to lucky users, and we'll get into that right after this. Just to follow up to David's response, I'm going to drop the link to our interactivity docs for developers. But if you have any more questions or if you're stuck on something, you can just send us a DM on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll be more than happy to help you through whatever sort of difficulty that you have. Before I have Drew announce the winners of um, before I have Drew announce the winners of our subscriptions, I just want to mention again, because really it's my job to make sure that we are ranked highly on Product Hunt. So if you haven't upvoted us, now would be a good time to do so. We are top five, but we think we can do better. We are on our way to top three. So if you can please upvote us, we'll be very, very grateful. And I'll jump up the link to docs in a bit. We have a new question for the team. Can you tell us about the other use cases of GIFs or the other formats? Drew, do you want to take that, or David? Drew, you're mute.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sure. So there are other like formats that you can export from Lottielab today. So as of right now, you can export to Lottie, you can export to GIF, you can export to MP4, and even Telegram stickers. So there's a wide range of use cases you can actually you can use your Lottielab animations in. One of those in terms of GIF, of course, like if you want to add GIF to like a medium post or like just environments like where Lottie isn't supported, you could always use GIF in terms of like inside your content or inside your blog post. Your videos, like those are usually best for like when you're about to do maybe a launch vid on YouTube or you're sharing content amongst your team. When it comes to videos, we actually started supporting 4K video export recently on the Pro tier, which means you can get super high quality 4K animations out of Lottielab, not just Lottie. It's really it's crazy because like we specialize so much in Lottie that we've actually we've basically released a number of top of the end features around Lottie, such as like minimizing file sizes, such as like interactivity. But we've actually not been laid back when it comes to other formats as well. So when it comes to video, we still like go all the way and export 4K. When it comes to GIF, we give you really high quality GIF outputs, and of course we also go to Telegram stickers as well. So we cover a wide range of use cases. So it's quite common right now as well within our customers. We've seen people use Lottielab not just only in product context, so not just within implementing Lotties within on websites or apps, but we've seen them actually reuse those same animations on their social media as well. So a lot of like teams are expanding the usage of Lottielab beyond just product teams into their branding and marketing teams as well, because Lottielab is robust enough to cover those use cases. And we do have some upcoming special surprises that should be helpful for wider collaboration amongst teams beyond just product teams as well. So keep an eye out and come to our future streams as well. So because you might just see all those upcoming features. Just saw a question about hiring as well. Like, if you're looking for any opportunities in Lottie Lab right now, feel free to just go directly to our careers page. We're not always actively looking for new joiners, but we always are welcoming great talent on the team as well. So, even if there's no role in place there right now, still send in your application, and like it could always be a fit.
Thank you so much, Drew. Johnny says, love it. Thanks for that answer. My presentation decks are going to be fine now. Thank you so much for all your kind words. To close out, I will have Drew announce the winners of our pro subscription. And sorry again for my mic being muted. It's a new tool that they're working with, and obviously yeah, just messing around. Drew, if you can announce the winners of our pro subscription giveaway.
All right, cool. So thank you so much everyone for like participating and being a part of this live stream. We've really enjoyed ourselves and sharing a lot of how interactivity works. Of course, it's a very short one. We didn't want to keep you here all day, so you can do other things with the rest of your day and enjoy your day. So there is a lot of like tiny bits and bobs to do with interactivity that we've not actually covered yet. So would advise that you actually go to the blog page and read more about it, or you go into our docs, or you look out for more tutorials that are coming up over the next like few days and weeks, because there's so much to cover in terms of like what interactivity can do that we just weren't able to get into. One of my favorite features in interactivity that we didn't get to into today, and there's so many other ones like that, is blending between states. So you can actually, one of the challenges with Lottie before was when you're changing between two states, it can feel a bit jittery or a bit abrupt. So we actually added this new way of like moving between those states, which you might be familiar with, like in general, which allows you to blend between two states so it's smooth, so you can move between one state and another really smoothly without any sort of jump or jitteriness, and we do that all under the hood. So just like blending, there's so many other like features like that that you like definitely should come back and check out on our blog or on our future announcements. But in terms of winners today and people that have been participating very actively with us, the first person that I would like to present well, the Lottielab Pro access or Pro tier access for the month two is drum roll, Godwin, which is actually ironic because he just asked the question just now. So Godwin on there, if you can actually just reach out via DM or email to anyone like on our team. So if you go to the Twitter Lottielab account, you can reach out to us over DM, or you can actually just email us at support@lottielab.com and just quoting that you want this, and we'll reach out to you. And second person, drum roll, please, is Linda. So, Linda Carlson, you also have, I just want to free Lottielab Pro access. So, please reach out via Twitter DM or email to our team and just letting us know your name and the email that you're registered with so we can grant you your month of like access. And the next one is drum roll, please. Sylvester Marcon. Sylvester, thank you for being part of like the session with us as well. You've also just got a Lottielab Pro access. Please reach out to our team, and we'll be able to give you access to that. So for me, I just want to make sure I'm getting the rules right. Is there 3 or 4 people that are getting this, or?
I think we can add one more person. What do you think?
Oh wow, Stefan is feeling really generous today. Okay, one more person it is. So drum roll as we just do a random scroll and just pick someone at random. And on here is Andres Marcialis. You've just been given a month free of Lottielab Pro as well. So thank you so much for being part of the session. Thank you everybody that's also participated. Even if you've not been granted Lottielab Pro, you still have the joy of using Lottielab, like which is obviously pretty exciting in itself. And also our team are here to help you if you have any questions at any time. If you've not joined our Discord yet, please do join our Discord because we're always having conversations like this in the community and sharing upcoming updates before the wider public even gets access to it. So our Discord community gets first access to most things. So if you want to be a part of how we build Lottielab, how we shape Lottielab for the future, please join that. And also, do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have a lot of exciting things. Tofumi has been showing me a lot of ideas that she has. So if you want to actually keep up with all these ideas, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, Tofumi has mentioned this a lot of times. I'm sure she will before the call ends. Do upload to some product hunt again. It goes a long way to help other people like yourself hear more about Lottielab. We're pretty new into the space, but we're growing really fast. So the more that you can talk about us, the more we have people talking about us, the more we can have the web look more alive with interesting and exciting animations. But thank you. I'll pass it on to Tofumi to wrap up.
Thank you so much, Drew. You can join our Discord. If you send us, actually, we should have this everywhere. Thanks, Sylvester, for mentioning that. We'll have our Discord links on Twitter right after this call. And if you didn't win a pro subscription today, you can still win a pro subscription. Just DM us or join our Discord channel. We are always giving pro subscriptions to just like our favorite users, just to play around and to get feedback from them. Discord link is now in the chat box. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Um, so from Tofumi and everyone from Lottielab, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in our next event. If you haven't upvoted on Product Hunt, please upvote. We are so close to top three, which is our goal for today, and we can do it with your help. Thank you so much, and I will see you at our next event. Bye.